Hi, and welcome to Jiggy Chunk, our chunk-locked Iron Man. In this series, we'll be unlocking the world of RuneScape one chunk at a time, starting with a random chunk. We're using the Extreme rule set, with one small change that we'll get to a little bit later on in this episode. But for now, let's get straight into rolling our first chunk and see where we start off. So today we're starting our brand new Chunkman series, and we're going to start off by rolling our chunk. Now, I am a relatively experienced player across both RS3 and Old School Runescape, but there are definitely some things that I'll admit I'll be quite worried about coming across, but let's start off by rolling the chunk. Could be anywhere in the game, hopefully it's relatively kind to us. Okay, the Jiggig Swamp. Not entirely sure what's out there, but let's go and have a look. Okay, so looks like there's nothing here, so we'd be able to complete this one immediately. But there is Castle Wars. Now, for Castle Wars, I don't know whether or not there would actually be anything there, just because there is the Castle Wars shop. But we'll have to enter the game and just kind of see where we go from there. Of course, we've got to go through Tutorial Island straight off the bat, so before we get to Jiggig, we've got to work out what we look like, and this is the look we're going for. And we'll see you in the chunk. So here we are in our starting chunk. From the look of it, it looks like there's not really a huge amount here to do. We are going to have some stuff that is going to get quite scary eventually, or at least annoying. But for now, given that we don't have any tools or anything like that, it looks like it's just going to be a free roll. So let's just have a quick wander around the Smoky Cave. I'm pretty sure they stop you from going in until you've got the smoky ones, because it's smoke devils, so we can't do anything in there, so that's fine. Pretty sure we can't do anything with the swamp bubbles yet, and these guys, even if we can talk to them, they're not going to have anything to say. So I'm pretty sure we are stuck without any actual things to do right now, so we're going to have a check of our chunk tasks. So if we bring that up and have a quick little look, we'll be able to see our only chunk tasks at the minute is to obtain an unarmed, which we can do. So we've completed our chunk tasks and we can roll a new task. So let's have a look. This should roll one of our adjacent chunks. Let's have a look. And it's on to Jiggig. Alright, let's have a little bit of a look. So we still currently don't have any tasks. So we're just going to go and have a little look around, double check there's nothing we can do, and then we will head back in. Okay, so I've had a little bit of an explore of this chunk as well, and it looks like this is another chunk that we can't really do anything with at the minute, because the Ogre guards, they don't really give us anything useful. Gielinor for Zoga Flesh Eaters won't actually give us the quest yet, because we don't have the requirements, which means the Ogre guard doesn't knock that down, so we can't access the enemies in there. And there's nothing else that's interactable. So if we go back over to the map, we are going to notice in a moment that Gu'Tanoth is marked as unlockable, but we can't actually get to it, because on the other side there's a mountain, and on this side, if we try to walk past the tree, we go out of bounds. So we can't actually get to Gu'Tanoth right now. So if we do roll that one, we may have to do a reroll again, but let's go over and see what we get. And we're back on the chunk picker. As said, we've got this one mistakenly, so let me see whether or not we're able to change that one. It doesn't look like it, or at least I can't work that one out. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to go ahead and see what happens, see whether we can get something other than Gu'Tanoth unlocked, and fix this if we need to. So let's roll and find out what we get. Anything but Gu'Tanoth would be great, just because Gu'Tanoth, as I said, we can't. Okay, so we've now got the other end. That's really good. We can definitely do something with this, right? Active chunk tasks say 0, but let's go and have a double check. Okay, so we're over in our new chunk, and yeah, just as before, there's nothing really we can do right now. There is going to be a teak tree that we're going to have to do eventually, but we don't have an axe, so we can't do anything of that yet. But that is just something to be aware of, that we will eventually have to grind a lot of wood cutting. Not as bad as some chunk starters, but hey ho. And if we go back to the map, we can see that we've actually got probably the most chunks that a Chunkman has gotten off the block. Bearing in mind our account is less than 30 minutes old, including actually walking over here. So let's have another chunk and see what we get from that one. Hopefully it'll actually have something for us to start working on. And hopefully it's not Gu'Tanoth. Okay, we avoided it, and it's Castle Wars Lobby. Okay, we'll have to have a look. And it still looks like there's no available tasks. We are getting closer to Yanille, and we are aware of Yanille locked accounts, so we'll have to have a look in our new chunk and see what we get. So, sounding a little bit like a broken record now, but there's nothing on this part of the island, except trees that we obviously don't have an axe to cut just yet. Yes, there's Castle Wars over there, so we do have access to a bank now, which could come in very handy. And on this side, I don't think we're quite close enough to the ogres just yet. It does lead us into an interesting one where I think if we're not able to like avoid this, we might end up getting the longbone task while having fists and level 1 attack and strength. So this one might be a little bit interesting to see what happens, but we'll just have to see what happens when it happens. So, time for us to go back onto the chunk roller and see what happens. So before we roll this next chunk, I just want to address an elephant in the room. Castle Wars. Castle Wars itself, and the minigame side of it. Now if we unlock this chunk, I believe that would unlock Castle Wars for us in its entirety, which then would mean we'd need to get the entirety of the Castle Wars log. Let's be honest, that doesn't seem like a particularly fun way to start off the account with just a Castle Wars grind, all the way up to getting every single thing in this log. So we're going to run mini games in this way, especially since I don't really enjoy doing a lot of the mini games, especially ones that rely on other people. So how we're going to rule it for our series, at least for now, is that if it's a mini game where you can play it solo with one account, then we would need to green log it. So take the Brimhaven Agility Arena, we can get every single part of this on our own without needing to interact with another player or without needing an additional account. Castle Wars, you need to have multiple members of the team. Yes, with multiple accounts you could just sit and you could AFK the games, you can get the tickets, but that's not very engaging now, is it? So that's how we're going to rule it. If we get to the point where we are looking at streaming this series, or if we've got some people that really wanted to join in and we have comments that believe we should be going for it, then maybe we'll add it back on, and maybe we'll have to go back and complete a backlog of Castle Wars very soon. But at least for now, Castle Wars is just going to be a blank. Now with that in mind, let's have a quick go and see what we get for our new chunk. So this chunk here gives us access to ogres, which I'm pretty sure that would be pretty deadly, because we need to get the longbone and curbone without having anything else. Gu'Tanoth gives us... No, Gu'Tanoth... Oh no, it is accessible now because we can go up and around the tree back in. So Gu'Tanoth, again, I think that's curbone. That's going to be pretty deadly without having it, but at least there's some shops. Maybe we can do something? 4? I don't quite know, but again, we're probably going into curved bone, long bone. Number 3 is probably the one we want most, just because that way we'd have goblins. That would probably be able to give us some levels. We'll have to see where we go from there. So, without further ado, let's see what chunk we get. Okay. Not the Yanille one, not the Yanille one. The other ones, maybe there's a chance. Gu'Tanoth, okay. Probably not good, but we'll have to see what we can get in there, because we can't access the city yet, I'm pretty sure. Let's find out. So here we are at the corner where we can get into Gu'Tanoth. Let's have a look to see what we can do from this side. Bear in mind we can't go across into the black. Can you get all the way along here? It's looking like you can. Okay, so I can get across. So what's in this one? I want to say it's like the scavid one. So you just get lost for a moment, okay? So nothing I can do that for now. So the website does show that we've got to get the curved bone and the long bone here. Now, I need to make sure I can actually get in and that there are some ogres that I can kill, because these ogres I don't have any way of climbing these rocks, because I don't have the level 71 agility. They won't let me through. Okay. There's that. I can't get up to these, so that's good so far. We don't actually have a way of killing the ogres yet. But nothing ranged. We can't get up to those ones, and then these ogre guards. So if these ones don't let us in, I don't think there's a way for us to actually do anything in this chunk. Okay. So again, they just kick us out. So there's nothing we can do on this side. Let me just double check the other side to make sure that I'm not being silly and missing something here. So back on this side, let's have a quick check to see whether or not there's anything we can do. But as you can see, we can't go that way, and this way is just more cliffs. So I think we might have got away with it. We're just having an additional check, because I wasn't 100%. We can't get around on that side, unless this ogre randomly wanders over here, but I don't believe he does. So yeah, I think we are still stuck, unable to do anything, so let's roll another chunk. We just got to avoid this one for ogres, that one for ogres. Yeah, let's go back onto the map. Okay, so, as we kind of said, this chunk has ogres in. I think there's some dwarves as well, so that they might drop something, but I'm not sure. I think this one probably has ogres in as well, or if not, there's not going to be anything down here except for ogres eventually. Castle Wars, we've already kind of discussed that one. Yanille, I mean, it does have a cooking shop and a... so where we can get some beers, so maybe there's a chance we can kill some. But we're still kind of hoping for this one, I think. 6 and 5, they're just skipped rolls, I'm pretty sure, so... let's see where we get. Do we have to do a longbone with nothing but fists? And... okay. So, that's one. There's no new tasks in that one. And I'm not even going to bother checking because we can't get across here yet. Let's just roll another chunk and see what happens. Straight into the next one, and... this one could be painful. Oh no, it's the Yanille chunk. So this one definitely has that in. Definitely has ogres. But on the plus side, we do get a steel longsword and a steel medhelm. So I don't know what we're going to have to kill for it. We're going to have to find out. Let's go and have a look at our new chunk. So this is what we've got access to now inside of Yanille. So we do have access to a guard captain, who I'm pretty sure doesn't give us anything for now. We've got a bartender. So the bartender does give us a couple of things, but we've got nothing in our invent as yet. So nothing we can do here. Down here, there's nothing really there. So I think we might be a little bit stuck, given our way to get the steel weapon that we need. So we need steel longsword and steel medhelm, is to kill these soldiers. And, or Radek, who is level 38. We do have access to some bones out here, so maybe it's going to be running in, grabbing some bones and burying some bones to try to work up towards protection prayers. But that seems horrific. Like, I can't imagine that we hit these ogres ever. So I think it's going to have to be the level 28s in here. Hope that we get like one hit off on them successfully. And just regen our health. So this is going to be a heck of a grind to start off with. Really inefficient, not having anything else. We'll have to see how realistic it is for us to actually be able to do this, because we do need to kill them to get something. We might have to just look at rolling something else to give us an option of how to get some sort of actual thing going. Like if we had the rest of Yanille, yeah, we're kind of just following on with the Yanille chunk that was started, but at least there is, you know, some wheat that can be done. But let's have a go killing one of these soldiers and see what happens. Okay, so we're going to go in with a kick to see whether or not we can do anything. Okay, these guys hit at least 4s. Okay, so we get 2 attempts at hitting the main, and that's it. And then we're going to have to regen 8 points of 8 hit points. That's not really ideal. Yeah. Is he still aggro to me? He's not. So we do have kind of... we do have this as a loop available, but yeah, this might be a bit rough. So I've kind of had a little bit of a look, okay? And we should be hitting approx... Oh, I can actually be killed. Never mind, we need to leave. Run. Get away. So their max hit is 4. So that means that I can realistically take 2 hits before I need to leave. Now, my stats are level 1 for defense, strength, and attack. So I'm just going to move the DPS calculator across from the wiki real quick, and let's have a little bit of a look at it. So with my current skills, right, this is their skills. On punch, we don't really have any prayers that we can use, so that's not relevant. We've got no equipment equipped, so it's exactly as it is. Our max hit against them is only 1, so that means that we can only really hit for about 0.05 damage per second, because we hit with an accuracy of 13%. So let's just say we should hit 1 in 10 times, maybe. We would need to hit twice for their 1. Assume we get hit, so we can't do 3, so each attempt is only 1. So it should take us 5 runs at the guard to be able to hit once for 4 XP. Right? So with that in mind, 5 attempts to get 4 XP. We, to get 1 level, need to hit 20 times at that point. So what? My math isn't looking good, so that's what, 80 full heals? Now, full heal is what, another 8 minutes? So let's have a quick calculator, because my maths is not doing that well right now. But let's say that's roughly right. We're looking at this taking us at least 10 hours to get 1 level. And that doesn't even really increase our hit chance by any significant amount. I mean, let's have a look. If we raise our attack level up to 2, so this is 10 hours in, bear in mind, we get up to 2. Our accuracy goes up by such a tiny amount. I don't think that this is a feasible thing to do. Like, I think we would be looking at spending multiple thousands of hours just to get up, because we can't even start to kill them realistically until we're, say, 30 attack, 30 strength, because by that point we would be taking approximately 32 health per kill. So like if we were 30 health, 33 health, they were there. You know, it's so absurd, it's so unlikely. I think we have to look at putting these into our backlog of things to do, because there's just no way we can do this. So I don't want it to be said we didn't give it the old college try, so we are going to give it one more attempt to just smack this soldier and see whether or not we can at least get 1 single hit in. My attempts at flicking are not working, so I'm just going to leave it on, I think. Okay, and nope, so we didn't get a single hit in 3 attempts. So yeah, I think the maths is right that it's going to take us at least 5 to get a single hit, at least. So I think we are just going to backlog all of these tasks until we at least have a training method to get our hit chance above, say 20%. You know, say 20%, or say at least we've got a chance of killing them. You know, because there is no way we could kill them. Our time to kill is way longer than our health. So let's backlog and let's roll a new chunk. So we're back on the chunk. As said, we've now got a backlog with the curve bone, the long bone, the steel med, the steel long, and both the steel weapons. As soon as we have any training method, you know, I think the way to look at this is similar to a lot of the ways of training with smithing. If you don't have a reliable way of actually getting the XP, in their case it's, or in most cases it's like 1 in 1 or 1 in 50, we don't have a training method for combat. We can't get it. So for now, we're just going to have to skip it. Let's roll a new chunk, and hopefully it'll give us a training method, or it will give us something we can actually do. Let's have a look. It's the other side of Yanille that's kind of amusing, but... and it is the other side of Yanille, okay. So, I know that at least one of the Chunkman has started in Yanille. We started a little bit further away, but I guess we're following a similar path now. So we've got the other side of Yanille now open to us, which does mean we've now got a number of new tasks we're going to need to look into. So there's some stuff that we will be able to hopefully do sooner than later, but for now, we do at least have a money-making method. We can pickpocket men, which should look towards giving us a bit of money. We have a training method, we have cows, we can actually hit them now, which is nice, so we can look at that. We do have cast wind strike, so we're going to have to get some runes. I assume that's probably going to be from imps. Then we do have, we've got some iron equipment, some iron dagger, we've got to get the steel longsword, that's now out of our allotment immediately. So we'll have to get that sorted. Let's go. I can't remember, can cows actually hit you in this game? They might be able to, but... So we do have an anvil. We can maybe look at doing anvil things a little bit later on. We've got Ardu task to... number 9, what's that? To check out the Hunter's Emporium. Oh, so there is an imp. Let's see whether or not we can get a kill on imp. Because again, I don't think imps hit, or if they do, they don't hit very hard. I think that's going to be our main training method. I know we normally start off with strength, but let's at least go for 1 attack level first. And the imp is running away from us, but we do get the kill on it. Let's see what our very first drop is on the account. It's a bucket of water and some fiendish ashes. So there's some prayer XP as well. So we're just going to be killing some imps for a bit, and we'll see where we go from there. And we get a hammer. Very nice. I'm looking at sprinkling in the odd cow kill from time to time, just because that'll help us with our grind towards, I believe it's 58 cooking we need eventually for pitta bread. So it's always nice to kind of have that as something else we're ticking off slowly. So as we see kind of meat come into our invent, that'll be what it's for. Similarly, any of these pots of flour we'll probably use on bread, just because every little helps at this point in the game. Okay, so we just got a set of shears. I'm pretty sure that's not really useful right now, but I mean, at least we've got it. That's better than nothing, right? Actually, there's a dairy cow over there. Is there a random... There is a dairy churn. Okay. So we can maybe look at doing some cheese or something like that. That might be an experience method, though with the amount of time it takes to churn butter, maybe not a good one. We'll have to find out a bit later. So I think our plan has to be to just train up strength until we can hit 3s on accurate. And then we'll look at going for accuracy and then try maybe to get the man kills if we think we can do that at that point. But yeah, like we want to make sure that we are actually killing them reasonably quickly. So we'll have to see how it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of little bits. We're going to get ourselves a couple of bits of meat just to see whether or not that's some healing that we can use. And we are going to complete a couple of tasks just while we're here and we can. Oh, level 2 cooking. Very nice. Can't complain. Oh, I didn't mean to burn the meat. Oops. That was a little bit silly. Well, at least we've got the requirement for Druid's Ritual. Yeah, so... no, stop burning the meat. Alright, never mind. I'm bad at this game. Yeah, so what we'll do is we will get ourselves the rake to rake this hops patch. Just because that is a task we need to do. Oh, I need to actually have some money from men. Pick pockets later. We will grab ourselves a rake and we will start raking this hops patch. Now, raking it is a task, so once we actually succeed in doing that, that is one more chunk task complete. But this is also just a way for us to start gaining a little bit of experience. We're not locked into raking, it's not our main method of training farming. But while we're here, we may as well rake. We will get ourselves a little bit of experience slowly over time. And if it does mean that we don't have to start by planting potatoes in 2 years' time, and we can start by planting onions, why not? Another quick task while we're here is to have a little bit of a look into Alex's nice place. That gives us a diary task. Should do anyway, let's have a look. Yep, so there's our RD task to view the Hunter's Emporium, so that's another task complete. Go at killing a man just to see how easy it is, but it does seem like it's relatively easy. Maybe we will just start killing men until we can find ourselves a iron dagger. Might be the way to go, but we'll just have to see whether or not we get murked on our way. It's going much worse than the first. Maybe we'll eat a little bit of meat, but meat healing 3 and bread healing 5 actually is quite nice. But yeah, I think we can get away with killing some men. Maybe we do that as a route. We kill cows when we've got no food and we're high health. Kill imps when we're not, and then kill men when we've got some food, just in case it goes to be a bad kill, until we get ourselves our upgrades. So that's some bronze bolts get. It's not really helpful for us because we don't have anything that we can do, but it is something that we can just equip and slowly get ourselves a stack going. So that's good. We'll have to see what happens next. Having realised that we would have had to do an hour to get to the point where we are now. Oh, sorry, an hour to get to level 2 of attack versus where we are now, where we're level 10 strength and 2 attack. It's kind of absurd, and I'm so glad that it was decided we would run that. I'm so glad that we just decided we're going to go for rolling an extra chunk rather than attempting a 1,000-hour grind or something silly like that, just to get to the point where we can hit them and maybe kill one. So, yeah. We're also we are getting our stats up there slowly. We've got 12 hit points. We're up to 10 strength. I think 17 is the goal, because that's the point where we can be on accurate and hit 3s. So then we'll start training our accuracy up, and we'll be able to maybe look into killing men a bit more efficiently. But we're kind of jumping around between hitting imps, cows, and men, given we still need to get ourselves the blue wizard's hat from the imp anyway for a task. So just have to see how it goes. So while running around killing imps and cows, came across a nice person who managed to guess that I was a chunk account just from what I was doing. So we'll have to add them and keep them updated with the progress, and maybe if they see this on YouTube. Hi Kyran, how you doing? And while replying to Kyran, I managed to die. Well, this is why we didn't go for being a hardcore Iron Man immediately. So let's get back. Okay, so we just got some Chaos Runes from this man. Now, Chaos Runes means we can cast Wind Bolt. So I don't quite know why it tells us that we only need to cast Wind Strike. I guess it's because we don't have a recurring method of training at the moment. So I guess if we somehow get enough mind runes that we can, which would probably be what the maze random trick that chunkers and taskers do. But outside of that, I think they're just there as bonuses for us, so they'll probably just sit there for a while. So, I mean, we're starting our stack, so why not? You know, let's not complain too much. Just got level 17 strength. That means we'll be able to hit 3s on accurate. So I think it's probably about time for us to start trying to get our accuracy up a little bit more, just so that we can actually do some stuff. So maybe even if we only get up to 5, just so that we can equip the steel equipment if we did ever manage to get some. Plus, it'll just help us to actually hit a bit more accurately when we're trying to train our strength up, so that we can start hitting 4s. So, time to start punching imps instead of kicking. And of course, about 2 kills after swapping across to strength, I mean, we're only level 3, we get ourselves the blue wizard hat. So that is another chunk task complete. And I think with that one, as that's our last definitely easy task to complete, we'll probably look at calling this episode a go. But if you have liked this one, please do give it a like, follow, and subscribe. It really does help us out, and we're looking at releasing quite regular episodes of this content, so Hopefully we'll see you on the next one.